In August 2025, Miyettla Sowore called President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a criminal on social media and refused DSS demands to delete the posts, citing free speech. The DSS say they gave him every chance, writing first to demand a retraction before reluctantly going to court. Sowore's own legal team later withdrew, citing humiliation in court, forcing him to represent himself. Serap has demanded his immediate release, insisting that he is being detained solely for peacefully exercising his human rights, urging authorities to stop weaponizing cybercrime laws against activists. And the DSS, while defending its conduct, has ordered an investigation into the courthouse drama that occurred on Monday. So here is the core question many Nigerians are asking. Is calling a president a criminal on social media a crime worthy of imprisonment? What does the cybercrime law say? June 30th, Nigeria will get its answer. Well, good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning? Yes, actually, I didn't see you.
Fantastic.
We're doing well. Good morning, Rufai on fire. How are you this morning?
That's good.
Fantastic. All right. I mean, we were discussing, behind the scenes about Miyettla Sowore and the fact that he's also just been in the news all the time, being such a strong activist, first of all, but he's been arrested over 500 times. That's what they say. And you were saying, Dr. Abati, he loves drama. But your thoughts really quickly on the incidents that occurred, since Monday, not just today. And of course, we saw the response from the DSS about that, rancor at the Federal High Court, and of course, the protest yesterday.
Okay, I mean, you answered the question.
Yes.
You raised yourself.
Yes.
You said, we will get the answer on June 30.
Yes.
Now that the matter is before the court, we cannot speculate as to what the court will eventually decide. I think it's the Court of Justice Mohammed Umar. And the thing is that Sowore had initially said the judge should recuse himself, having shown in his own consideration and that of his counsel bias in the matter. On one occasion, one of the counsel was asked to kneel down in open court. On another occasion, Sowore was asked to remove his eyeglasses.
Yes.
And on the basis of that, he said, well, he will not get justice. But the learned Justice Mohammed Umar has insisted that he will continue with the case. And then he didn't appear on one occasion in court, and on the basis of that, the court decided to revoke his bail, the court granted bail, and also to issue a bench warrant that he must appear. So those are the issues before the court, which they will now be considered. The judge, having said, is reserving his judgment till June 30th.
June 30th.
In the meantime, he has been remanded in custody at the Kuje Correctional Center. But both Serap and the council are saying that, and his supporters, legions of them that showed up in court, are saying that, well, whatever he said about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was, freedom of expression. But the prosecution is saying he should come and prove it. Because he who alleges must prove. But, what I said previously is that Miyettla Sowore has been in this struggle. They call it revolution since his students' days at University of Lagos. So whatever travail he may be going through is not going to deter him. I think he's one of the presidential candidates. Yes. So you are
that's also one of the conversation out there.
Going to hear more from him. Yes.
All right, just a quick.
I just want to please. I'm not saying what Sowore is. The court will decide. Though.
Right.
But me, I come with receipt. I just want to remind you people that it was in the same country that they said that your guy, President Jonathan, was acting like Nebuchadnezzar. We didn't hear anything. It was in the same country they call your guy a drunken sailor, and we know those that called him that name. I know waka pass. Go ahead.
You know waka pass. All right, like I said, we'll find out if calling a criminal or...
I don't remember. He's a distinguished Nigerian.
Somebody called him a drunkard,
president of Nigeria.
It was not in
I
place
just
at
the
the
waka
time.
pass. I just say people that are enforcing now.
But you know, at the end of the day, we're going to find out if defaming...
No, it's widely respected, but I'm saying somebody called him a drunken sailor that time.
Do you know that person?
I will not join you to repeat that phrase.
Okay.
Oh, you don't know that person?
I've moved on.
You were the one that raised the issue. Well, all right. At the end of the day, right, we will find out whether calling the president a criminal on X is worthy of imprisonment or whether they will jail Sowore if he refuses to withdraw. I don't even know if he has a chance to withdraw at this time. Well, and a landmark terrorism verdict from Sokoto. A high court sitting in Sokoto has sentenced 3 men to death by hanging after convicting them on charges of terrorism and cross-border arms trafficking. The convicts, Yusuf Mohammed, also known as Salau, a national of the Niger Republic, alongside 2 Nigerians, Jabi Alhaji Yale and Kabiru Mohammed, were arrested by the Department of State Services Counter-Terrorism Unit in June 2025, and the court ordered all money recovered from their criminal activities to be forfeited to the federal government. Now, very good development. Kudos to the DSS, as always. Now, this verdict comes just days after a Katsina court also sentenced a female arms courier to death by hanging. And Nigerians online are welcoming both judgments, declaring that anyone found guilty of terrorizing Nigerians must face the full wrath of the law. Meanwhile, reactions are pouring in after the EFCC filed a 12-count charge against the national president of Miyettla, Abdullahi Bello Bodejo, accusing him of terrorism financing and money laundering involving $2.53 million. The charges allege Bodejo received multiple cash payments from $100,000 to $980,000 from a former accountant general of Bauchi State without routing transactions through financial institutions as required by law. Miyettla is one of Nigeria's most prominent and controversial Fulani social cultural groups, and these allegations, if proven, strike at the very heart of the debate around the financing of insecurity in Nigeria. Now, Bodejo is also linked to Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, adding a sharp political dimension to what is already an explosive case. Nigerians are asking if the EFCC has been sitting on these charges since June 22nd, I believe. What took so long and who else is in the net? And I'll take a reaction from Trilogy on X. They wrote, EFCC is chasing $2.53 million in alleged terrorism financing, while the federal government has spent billions rehabilitating the same terrorists that money allegedly funded. Nigeria is simultaneously persecuting the investor and nurturing the investment. Somebody explain this country to me. Ayo, this is the question some Nigerians are asking. I mean, this is a big revelation. I mean, only yesterday we, disclosed that the U.S. is persecuting, those Bureau de Change operators here in Lagos and I believe Kano as well. Now we've seen this as well.
So there have been a number of efforts that have been reported in recent times, and I think it's important in the fight against terrorism. There's the part of the kinetic, which is the force, going in there, eliminating the terrorists and taking the war to them. But there's also the part of cutting the lifeblood, the supply, which is the financing of terrorism, which has been talked about for a long time, around if we're serious about tackling terrorism or defeating terrorism, we must also be very serious about going after the people who are funding them. Now, going to the Sokoto one, the first one, that's a win because in line with the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022, the death penalty is what is the penalty for acts of terrorism that results in death or massive destruction. So we see that this has now played out. And what we've often said is that in order to reinforce this fight against terrorism, we must have arrests, we must have prosecutions, and we're found guilty, we must have the penalties.
Yes.
This serves as a deterrent to see that we're not just, playing around with them, just joking around with them, granting amnesty or rehabilitation, but we're actually going after them and going after them with force. If they would be killed or not would be the big verdict. Then on the Miyettla, Dr. Abati said something really important earlier today, and that is, in this fight, there must not be any sacred cows.
Yes.
Anyone, and the leader of, the president must be willing, the governors as well, must be willing to go after anybody, any group, including, like I said earlier, those who have been very vocal about being sympathetic to terrorists or even know where they are and advocating for them, almost acting like a mouthpiece to them. So this is in line with. We hope that the law will take its full course. He's under investigation. He's innocent until proven guilty. But we hope that the evidence brought will be tight, and if found guilty, no sacred cows. They'll be bold enough to and give him
no
proper
sacred
penalty.
cows. No sacred cows. Well said, Ayo. And we're receiving reports of a breakthrough in Oyo State with the Oyo State kidnapping investigation. The Oyo State Security Forces say that they have arrested a local pastor suspected of serving as a key logistics supplier to the armed groups responsible for the mass abduction of school children and teachers in Orire local government area. The pastor is alleged to have provided weapons, ammunition, drugs, vehicles, and operation gear to the bandits, with his clerical status reportedly helping him pass through checkpoints undetected. Security agencies are withholding the pastor's full name and church pending further operations to avoid compromising ongoing rescue efforts. This arrest, Rufai, if confirmed, goes to the heart of a question Nigerians have been asking since the abduction began. How are these bandits, terrorists, being supplied and supported? Now, a local pastor may be part of the answer, but we must be clear. This alleged criminality is not representative of any religion, but is a sobering reminder that the network enabling Nigeria's insecurity has many faces, and some of them may be hiding in plain sight. I want to tie in the story before I come to you, Rufai. And the Nigerian police force has fired back at the viral video alleging that officers were interacting with armed bandits in Katsina State. In the video, which surfaced on Wednesday, a group of armed men, some holding sophisticated weapons, were seen on motorcycles riding in a group as officers wave on at them, causing an uproar on social media. Let's take a look.
Kai me yasa kake haka ne Aminu? Kai wannan ma. Me yasa kake haka ne Aminu? Me yasa kake haka ne?
A sun tubo agewa ne.
What a story. Well, in a statement posted on social media, the police force said that the individuals are not bandits, but instead members of the vigilante group of Nigeria, and that the reports were false, malicious, and intended to mislead the public. The police further warned members of the public against creating and disseminating fake news, saying they could pursue legal actions against violators. That's what the police say. But you saw that video, quite alarming. Go ahead.
Who signed that police statement?
I have his name. I'll give you his name, but continue.
Oh God, you think we are fools? We are not fools. Oh. You called us for vigilante. So wait, let's even humor the stupidity and the ridiculousness in that message. Because these guys actually think we are fools and we are idiots. So are you telling me now that vigilante is way more equipped than police now in this country? Is that what you are telling me? Look at that big gun, vigilante.
Yes, it looked like an.
Is vigilante Abi? Okay. Let's even move further.
That's his name.
Oh, what's his name? Anyete Okonedeminiedu, first public relations officer. Now, wow, so you must really think we are fools.
That's the newly appointed police PRO.
Police PRO. So you must really think we are fools. That's vigilante Abi. Please, next time, I just want to advise you, watching me. Please, just say it's AI. You will have said it's AI. It's easier lie than telling us lies to our face and making us feel stupid. This shows the complicity in the ecosystem. Are you telling me vigilantes are that armed? They have that number of bikes? They have that number of infrastructure? And they are moving with these high caliber weapons? And police is saluting them and looking at parade? Eh? Not even cutlass, so not even den guns, so these are some better guns. So somebody pause the video. I've had to even scream out the pause of the video.
Yeah.
Big guns are vigilante in this country. Our police spokesperson wrote, no, new police force person. Just say it's AI next time. Next time, lie on AI. Right. Don't lie on vigilante, lie on AI.
All right, Rufai, there are many faces to this terrorism thing.
I know. So what's that second story?
It was the oil
pastor.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not a representation of Christianity or any religion. I must have that's a criminal. And also, that's how I also say, when somebody from a certain ethnic group does something or commits crime, it's not the representation of the entire ethnic group.
Yes.
Not all Fulani people are criminals or terrorists. Right. They are good Fulani people, not a representation. But you know what this story just shows, that there's a local ecosystem that funds all of this crime and criminality. Yes. So can we seep into the local ecosystem that provides the logistical support that fuels the economy of crime? And I'm happy that we started to seep into it. Let this pastor tell us more about these people. Right. And secondly, shebi these terrorists, they have family members. Nigerian government go and pick up their family members. They did it before now. Remember someone that was kidnapped in Bayelsa then? I think it was a legal person, was kidnapped in Bayelsa. You know what the opposing faction just did? They went to kidnap his own family member. So they said, when you bring our own family member, we'll bring your own family member too out. So it's tit for tat.
No, that's not legal.
All right.
You know, the Nigerian law says is the person who commits a crime that should be arrested. At the time when you don't go and arrest third parties.
At the time when the kids are in the bush, you see, Dr. But they don't need to tell us when they do it. Our one is that they should bring the kids out. All right. If government goes ahead to do that, they don't even need to tell us. All is that they should look for every means possible to bring those kids out. That's just it. Pure as you can quote law. Snake in the bush. Rain, you know the rain has been falling lately. You are quoting law here. They don't arrest third party and everything. They should do what they need to do. Government on this, bring out those kids. That's my own concern.
This is quite a shocking
the Bible
story.
Tells us in the book of Matthew, chapter 15.
Go ahead, Pastor.
Verses 16 to 7, chapter 6, verses 15 to 17. That in the end times, and it looks like we are at end times now, there will be false prophets and pastors who will appear in sheep's clothing, but who are wolves, ravening wolves, and ye shall know them by their fruits. This is a confirmation. Right. In Matthew 24, verse 24, the Bible also tells us about these fake pastors that will come. But it warns in the first book of Timothy, the same holy book, that believers should beware. Right. So all these people who have turned pastors into gods, this is a reminder of the book of truth, the book of life, what it says about all these pastors who turn the doctrine on the head, who appear as sheep but are wolves.
The producer is asking, is it New King James Version? But
King James Version. I'm quoting King James Version. He's a false pastor. He comes in the garment.
Our viewers have to come to your church.
The same man will go to church and he will be telling them, let somebody say hallelujah.
This is unfortunate.
It's a false prophet.
Very, very sad.
Vigilante group. I've just gone on their website and they have a uniform. Okay. And the uniform that they wear has nothing to do with what we saw on that screen.
All right. So it is a brown. No camouflage.
No camouflage.
Oh, we saw some camouflage there. All right.
But first headquarters should be told that he should not begin his assignment by lying to the public.
This is it. This is it.
So you are teaching him to lie.
He should say AI next time.
That's not why he's there.
He should say AI next time.
Well, you know,
is this the people have been lying for people?
He should be a spokesperson of truth.
Oh.
This
So
is
the
it.
way he wrote, Unko.
You might want to even chime in on that.